In the last clip, I have explained how you can compute the total number of seats if the even rows layout is in use for this sitting arrangement. This time we'll try to fine tune it so that even if you have a staggered rows layout, how you can compute the number of seats, because there is a difference between the even rows layout and the staggered rows layout. Okay, let's try to understand first of all few things. Say for example, if you check the program which ArchiCAD is giving you by default, that if you are working with the even rows, obviously the equal divisions are done, or maybe what you can see, number of seats are arranged for the all the rows with the same number. And if you talk about the staggered layout, then always by default it starts with a one seat less than what are the number of seats you have specified in a row. For example, there are 12 seats in this combination, but you will get 11 seats as a first row. And then obviously second row will be with the 12, whatever capacity you have already specified. And again the same combination is repeated till you are not completing the number of rows. Fine. So if you calculate these number of seats, they will be always lesser than compared to the even rows. So one thing which you have to remember, that always the program starts by default with the one seat less in the first row. Okay, so by taking this benefit, what we are going to do, we are going to add few more options in the same what you can see definition of this object. So you just select this, go back to your program menu, file, libraries, object, and see open object or Control Shift O. And here you just have to make sure you have to add a few parameters. Like I have added, last time we have added a parameter known as a total seats, and these total seats are calculated as per the equation which you have designed. Okay, so if you remember, the total seats are going to be get calculated from this particular equation, which is nothing but we have added m into n as a total seats. So this time what I'm going to do, I'm going to just add two more new parameters. One is known as a n underscore even, other is known as a n underscore odd. That is number of rows, number of even rows and number of odd rows. Why? That is nothing but, in short, if you are working for this 7 option, say 7 rows combination, how many even number rows are there and how many odd number rows are there? If you compute, there will be 1, 2, 3 and 4. So there are supposed to be 4 rows which are supposed to be odd number, that is 1, 3, then you have 5 and 7. Okay, and how many rows with the what you can say even number? That's going to be see your 2, then you have a 4 and 6. So odd number rows and even number rows. So that's the combination which I have done. So number of even rows and number of odd rows. Always remember, if you check out this program again, they have one limitation, that if you just go and check out that if you have a even rows as an arrangement, you can have a number of rows minimum as a 1 value, and number of seats in a one row is also minimum value as a 1. But if you change the same thing, if by chance if you trace it's staggered, then the lowest number will be 2 for both. That means you cannot place the value 1 for the number of rows or 1 for the number of seats in a one row if you are working with the staggered rows combination. But if you are working with the even rows combination, you don't have to worry about that. Lowest value can be 1 also. Right? So we are just going to keep these things in your mind, so that while writing the equation, you just are going to use this simple logic. Okay. So back to this, and here the make sure again this type of the this parameter we are keeping integer itself, because it's going to be a full number, not a fraction. Right? Now what exactly you have to do? back into the script for the parameters, and here you're just going to add few simple logics. For example, parameters n odd. Okay, this is the name which we have given, remember. Then you'll say why n I have taken, because if you just check out in the earlier definition, n is the number of rows, m is the number of seats, okay, in a row. So that's the reason I have continued with the n, so that this similarity can be get maintained. So n even and n odd. So just repeat this option as a n even, and the n even is nothing but here in the parameters n odd is equal to n by 2, and parameter n even is equal to n minus n odd. What I have done, that total number of rows, see if they are supposed to be 7, 7 divided by 2 will be obviously 3.5, but because it's a what we have expecting is an integer, so 3.5 will get automatically converted into say 4, and that's the reason my number of odd rows will be 4. These 4 rows will get deducted from the total number of rows, that is 7. From the 7, the 4 will get deducted to find out how many even rows are there. Okay, got the simple logic? So that's the reason you will get automatically the answer as 4 and 3 for our combination of this 7 rows. Then you are going to add one more logic of using if. If I seat arrangement, then you will see what exactly I seat arrangement. Again, remember, this is nothing but in the parameters. If you just go and check out, there is supposed to be logic known as a I seat. I seat is nothing but your arrangement, seat arrangement, staggered rows, or you have a other option as a even rows. Okay, got the point? Fine. So this is nothing but we are putting a condition over here that if the I-seat arrangement is a arrange even rows. Now again, this is nothing but exactly from the program I have repeated this particular arrange even rows as a word. What you can do, you just check out, it is already written over here. If I-seat arrangement equal to arrange even rows, then same logic I have repeated over here as a then. Okay, so these are the two key characters, if and then. Then parameters total seats will be m into n. That is, this is nothing but for the even rows. Okay. Else, because there is only one condition, no? Either you have a even rows or you have a staggered rows. So if it is not a even rows, then obviously the parameter total seats will be m minus 1, okay, into n odd, n underscore odd. Why m minus 1? Because if you check out, the number of seats in a first row will be always less than what you have specified. So m is how many seats in a one row. So if there are supposed to be 12 seats, which as per your definition, because of the staggered rows, there will be one seat less. Okay, so that will be 11. That's the reason I have done this option over here, that m minus 1, because my always the 12 seats minus 1, that is 11 seats, into number of odd rows. So that number of odd rows we have calculated as a in our current combination as a 4. Okay, plus m into even number. M is again now directly the number of seats which you are asking for, that is 12, because the even rows will have a full number. Okay, so accordingly that m into n underscore even. So this is another parameter which we have defined. So once you have done this, you just have to complete this what is the equation by saying end if, because if is started and end if will try to conclude this particular sequence. Got this? Fine, that's it. You just have to save this, and once you save this, you try to apply this, use this option, and if you just go back to your the scheduling, and if you just check out, because your schedule is already, last time also we have done that element ID, number of seats in a one row, number of rows, total seats, all these options are last time we have done. Now there are two new parameters which you have added. You just go and click on this, say library and properties, and you just go and check out where is supposed to be your library part. In my case, I have, of course, remember you cannot modify the existing library part. which comes from the ArchiCAD end. So I have just renamed that while saving. And if you check out in the embedded library, this my library part was listed out. If I just scroll and just check out my newly defined options, like this is supposed to be number of even rows and number of odd rows. These are the two new parameters. So I'm just going to select this add and select other one is also add. Now obviously I'll say okay for this, and then to arrange them we'll try to just push them above this and number of odd rows above this. Okay, so if you just check out and if you say okay, you will get the answer. Number of odd rows is supposed to be in this my combination of 12 by 7, which is you see your even rows combination, that is supposed to be 4 and 3, and odd is also my 4 and 3. Okay, but total number of seats 84 in my first combination, because the layout was supposed to be even and the other one was a staggered one. Fine, so just try to understand this logic, that number of rows will be the same but number of seats will be lesser in the other combination. Of course, you can even list out that also, whether you have this possibility to, if you want to identify that no, I just want to find out whether it's a staggered layout or what you can see, it's a even layout. So you just check out, it's supposed to be I seat arrangement. You just say add to this, say okay, and if you just pull this up, okay, say okay, and you'll say even rows and staggered rows. Got this? Fine. So this is how you can actually create a schedule and extract the information. Anytime if you change this, say for example, if I change this, if I say no, there will be only 10 seats and 9 rows, fine, no issues. This combination is changed, and your calculation should be get updated. You have you can see that 10 seats, 9 rows, 5, 4, and 85 is the combination. Same way, if I change for this also, that I'll have 10 seats and 9 rows. Okay, I'll say okay for this, and similar effect should be there in your calculated combinations. Okay, so 1985. Got this? Fine. So I hope you have understood how you can actually slightly modify these using your GDL language, how you can actually try to make your object library little bit more interesting and useful.